Kia ora, namaste, and a very warm welcome to all our viewers tuning in from around New Zealand and beyond. You're watching live coverage of the 2025 New Zealand Indian Hockey Championship, proudly hosted this year by the Waikato Indian Sports Club in conjunction with New Zealand Indian Sports Association, bringing together community, competition and culture. This tournament's grown into one of the premier events on the New Zealand Indian community sporting calendar, showcasing not only some of the best hockey talent in the country, but also a legacy that stretches generations. Whether you're new to the NZIHC this year or have been around since the good old QBT days, you're in for a treat again this year. I'm joined in commentary this morning by Seedal Patel from the Pukekohe Indian Sports Club, player, manager, NZI manager, a lady of many talents. Seedal, welcome in this morning.
Thanks for having me. Looking forward to it. Be good to see some good hockey today.
Yeah, absolutely. Day 2 of the tournament here and the sun's out, which is pleasing the crowd and I'm sure the players. We had a bit of a cold one yesterday out here at Gallagher Hockey Centre here in Waikato, but good sun out for day 2, and you can see our teams getting prepared. And before we take a look at this match, Seedal, we won't waste much time. We've got to have a little bit of a walk down memory lane, and it's only 24 hours ago where we saw maybe one of the highlights turned lowlights of the tournament, where you've gone long handle or tried to go long handle and your sticks made it to about halfway, and then you've gone off chasing the attacker without a stick for a moment, creating one of the viral moments of the tournament. Before we have a look at it on the screen, talk us through your recollection of events.
Honestly, it was, I know, a player's coming up, and then I could see the angle ball, and then, so I guess my mind was locked into there, and then the stick just yeeted. It went higher than my overhead as well, so, you know, kind of actually don't have nothing else. And then the best part, I think, was I still continued to run back and realise, oh, I need my stick to play.
Yeah.
So, body on the line. There we go.
For those of you unfamiliar, there we go there. You can see after the stick went flying, you took one step towards the stick and then thought, well, actually, there's a player, so, oh, no, actually, I do need my stick. And then the clapping's what makes it even better. You hadn't even seen what had happened. You were just clapping for whatever reason.
I think it was like a well done, stupid.
Yeah. But the good news in behind that, Mia Walab, your young goalkeeper, she came out and made a fantastic save on Manjot Lau anyway. So no harm, no foul at the end of the day, but certainly a moment to remember.
Absolutely. You know, I had to get my 5 minutes of fame somehow,
That's
people at the back tend to get overlooked sometimes.
Yeah, that's it.
You could also argue that I set Molly up for a really beautiful save.
Yeah, how good. And now looking forward to this morning's game. Ladies section, Wellington v North Harbour here on Turf 1. That's our upcoming game. Harbour, of course, the defending champs after winning it at home in 2024, and Wellington, well, they hosted in 2023 and are out here again in Waikato this weekend. Harbour, they're coming off 2 wins yesterday.
Yeah, Harbour, quite a young team this year. You know, you got your solid players at the back, you know, with the likes of Navina Hera and Rashika Chiba, but there's, a lot more younger kids on the park, which is, I guess, not having that much strength, but I think that's going to help them. They did really well yesterday, and I guess the more that they build and as the weekend progresses, they're just going to get stronger and know how each other works. And
yeah. You know, even looking at the team list here, the likes of Leela James, Kaisha Patel, a couple of the younger ones there that are coming through for North Harbour. You mentioned some of the experienced ones, which is cool, but you got to have those the next layer coming through. So big opportunity here for North Harbour as the defending champs to grow their player base. They're coached again by Parish Becker, and the Wellington ladies, you can see them in their huddle there at the moment. Girish Dial, he's coaching the side this year. We got to see them on the live stream turf yesterday. They ended in a penalty shootout in their game against Auckland. And our umpires, you can see in the middle of the screen there for this one, Danny Walker and Caleb Laurent. Danny, of course, was part of the International Masters umpiring team that travelled recently over to Cairns for the Trans-Tasman Series. And we can also see out there Deepak Lala, our TO for the game. He's always in and around these tournaments, so great to have Deepak back again. And the teams will be captained Rishika Chiba for North Harbour in the white and Roshni Pabu for Wellington in the light blue. We just saw these two sides men's B teams out here in an earlier game. That one won by North Harbour 2-1. And the cool thing is we can see the signs, the crowds starting to build again here this morning over on Turf 2 in about 15 minutes time. Looks like we'll have Auckland taking on Bay of Plenty in the ladies section. And out here right now, Wellington v North Harbour. Cedal, as the teams come out here, you guys had a pretty tough one against North Harbour yesterday, but a rest this morning, which is nice for the ladies. How's your guys' weekend going? Yeah, not too bad. I think the girls were happy with having the two, I guess, toughest teams first up. It makes it a little bit easier with the fresher legs, fresher bodies. I don't think we'd like to be playing Bay of Plenty, you know, on day 3. And just be absolutely cooked. So, yeah, it was nice having them. And then the girls were able to go and have brunch this morning. Nice. Enjoy some of the sun here in Hamilton. Cool to see as the ladies go through. Like you mentioned, pretty young-looking North Harbour side. And they'd have to be coming in favourites for this one on the back of 2 wins and the current defending champs. What are you looking forward to most out of either of these two teams in this matchup this morning, Cedal? I think seeing some flair. Even though Shayna was told not to dribble, it's quite nice when she does. Like just seeing that skill set, you know, flow through the game. And then just everyone working as a team. Like the more that the teams move the ball around the park, the prettier they look. And I know that sounds superficial, but it's actually really good hockey when they do it. It conserves the energy and it just makes their team play and team dynamic just much better. Yeah, absolutely. And both teams here have players that can control that distribution. You know, Roshi will play at the back for Wellington, good distributor of the ball. We've spoken already about Nav and Rishi around the back for Harbour. So if they can get the ball moving and keep the ball moving, both teams have the opportunity to put on some good hockey here early. And Harbour start with a little overhead down into the left pocket. And Leela James there will take a long corner for North Harbour. And you mentioned Shayna Narsai. She had a standout tournament, I thought, for the NZI ladies at not quite sure, knowing where she needs to, where to go for her to pass the ball to them. Yeah, absolutely. And that'll grow. That's the cool thing about having these opportunities for those younger players to play alongside them is they'll start to develop that ability and those skill sets as we see Wellington just drop one off here. And that's probably one way you don't want to go, is trying to go through Vinahira. I think that's like the number 1 rule, actively avoid. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that it was written up on the whiteboard before they came out here. And Harbour, there is Shannon Arsai. Drops it off, nice pass. And a couple of opportunities here, penalty corner coming, a little obstruction. I like the work there between Leela James and Allegra Haley. Down this left side, and first opportunity here through the penalty corner will go the way of North Harbour.
unlucky with that outcome in that PC. It was quite a soft touch-in from the first part. But good outcome either way.
It's Curry, I think, there.
Mate, have a word to her. The goal's the other direction, bro.
I was going to say, it's moved a little bit here.
Too much cheeseburgers, no beef.
Curry, of course, another one of those NZI representatives in this North Harbour side. And now Wellington under a fair bit of pressure here. They do well. And we'll just get things all in the right spots before we get going, and Harbour will win it just on halfway. Shane and our side, she's off. Shikachiba, there's a forward there.
Yeah, last thing you want to do is let Shayna or Navina get the ball and not be set up.
Yeah.
Their stick skill and come under pressure. So as soon as they've got the reins to go, they're gone. Yeah,
absolutely. And then you're on the back foot. We'll see Shane and Asai now with a bit of circle opportunity on the reverse. Ooh, nice save there. And we'll have to try and get some updates through the weekend. Last time she was looking for a boyfriend, Shane and Asai. I'm not sure if there's any improvements on the love life. We'll try and get some first-hand gossip after this one. But if you're watching, give her a follow on Instagram anyway, and you can come to the social tonight, and she'll be there.
That's what it used to be back in the day, eh? The husband hunt.
Yep.
The wife hunt.
Here come Harbour again. This is Narsai looking, beats one, takes it quickly.
Perfect example of as soon as she gets to go, she'll go.
And still got it there around the edge for Harbour. Wins another free hit. And that one is going to fall the way of Wellington. And Harbour, again, keeping this pressure on. The bulk of this first 5 minutes have been down Wellington's end. Settle, you've been to a few what were QBTs back then, but what are some of your fondest memories of QBT?
I think it's just playing together with everyone, you know, with the Heritage Tournament, and then prior to that the affiliates tournament. You know, you played with each other, and you know, you got to actually know the players a lot better. And you know, coming into the these tournaments now, you get to play against them. So A, you know how they play, and then B, like it's like the banter on the field is quite cool.
Yeah, it seems like, especially those of you, like you said, that have represented NZI and have gone through those campaigns together, there's a little extra bit of beef on the field when you get to match up with each other.
Oh, absolutely. Or in Curry's case, no beef.
Well, yeah, not beef. Vince, I think they call it, vegan mince. Here's Shane and Arsai working again. And just trying to get out of the way there of Allegra Healy, who followed up. And this Wellington side, they're going to have to try and work out of their own corner pocket here. High press. And they've won it there. Harbour coming forward again. Narsai, she's in the thick of things at the moment. Now Rishi, the captain. Well defended that time. Jess Patel for Wellington.
I do think that Wellington do need to be a little bit more clinical when outletting the ball. You know, they're chucking those passes and it's getting to the players, but it's the communications to let them know that there's a player coming on top of them. They need to talk about that a little bit more, just because, you know, with the likes of Shayna and, you know, Monica Patel and everything, they will press really hard.
Yeah, they just need to find some clearer ways out of here, and this one's a better one for Wellington. You know, they made a couple of passes, won a free hit, and now they're coming forward into the circle. Opportunity, big one for Wellington, and they win the penalty corner.
Bloody awesome work.
Yeah, really good. We just called for some better outletting, and they finally get a good one down that left side of the field. Impressive stuff there from Wellington, showing they can break out. This is a great ball across circle. Man, I thought she was going to get a shot at it there.
Yeah, that short handle, quick shot.
Yeah.
Quick shot.
And they go short. And it's going to take a deflection on its way through. Well run there by Curry. And they'll have a long corner this time, Wellington. Well defended there by Harbour. It was a little bit of a variation on the PC, the short inject. And then wayward on the pass forward there from the long corner. Cedar, we did a little bit of digging this morning, and turns out one of the players that you played against yesterday was a former Indian international women's player in Rajwinder Kaur. We had all the raps for her scoring 4 goals and setting up another one. Come across our desk that she played internationally for the Indian women's team. You know, some pretty epic stuff that she was able to put on, but how cool is it to have players like that playing in the tournament?
Oh, absolutely. You know, it just brings up the game for everyone. And like just to see that razzle dazzle and stuff that she had as well. Makes me feel a little bit better.
A little more forgiveness perhaps for her performance yesterday. As speaking of performance, Rishi taking names. Primarily plays at the back for this North Harbour team, but when she does get going forward, we've seen at these and at heritage tournaments that she can score goals, field goals too. Rishi that time earning the penalty corner. We'll see it here. Turns in and under.
Just really calm when she does have the ball as well. Like that composure, you know, her, Nav, Shayna, that they have is it's awesome. Yeah,
it's so hard to defend against too when you're scrambling already on the baseline. You see Shayna there ready to inject. It's a little messy. Curry will take it herself.
At least she got it on goal this time.
Yep, they'll get a follow-up. Another save there, 2 in a row. There, Yannicka Parsodum in goal for Wellington. Tidy couple of saves there, and keeping Harbour at bay in this first quarter. We're inside 4.5 left to play now. Again, defended well on the dotted circle. Wellington, can they find another one down the other end? A penalty corner or an opportunity? They go quickly. A little back and forward, but they finally get it going here. 2-on-1, if they can find it. Instead, they find the sideline. Unfortunate one there for Wellington.
Yeah, they're having a good shift in defence at the moment. You know, they're getting it out, and that just once they get into that attacking quarter, it's just the last links are kind of letting them down slightly.
No, so she's had enough of the passing. She listened to Parrish for about 3.5 minutes, I think. She's done. She doesn't like 0-0 on the scoreboard.
No.
There she is. Look at that. That's a face that says over it. Just want a goal. Want a boyfriend, want a goal, want to get done, want to get to the disco tonight. There it is. Look at the skill set. In, away, under the opposing captain. And now can Harbour get one? They went off target for the first. They freestyled and had 2 shots saved on the second. And now looking for their first goal.
Looks like Curry got demoted and
Trapping now.
Big Guns Rishi step in.
Interesting, you see there off the trap, Rishi just trying to change the angle of it a little bit. So it carries it out onto her forehand for a pace or two before crossing it back, but well run by Wellington.
Absolutely, they're doing really good in the defence.
Yeah, almost a carbon copy of that that penalty corner. A little bit untidy at the top, but Rishi again opting to go a couple of paces, just cutting down her time really, allowing that runner to get out closer. And this time no danger on the lifted ball, so they play on, and we're here again with Harbour still unable to break through the Wellington defence. There's the entry, it's cut out well, and now Wellington with a bit of space in front of them. If they can get the ball moving. Curry does enough at least to slow them down momentarily. But Wellington keep rolling forward. There's about a minute and a little bit of change left in this game, in this first quarter. Apologies here as Wellington goes searching perhaps for one opportunity. It would certainly be against the run of play if they can find one, Wellington. Harbour, they'll start to get frustrated a little bit, I think, with their inability to put one on the scoreboard.
Absolutely. Like in our game yesterday, it took them, it wasn't until like the second half, that's where actually they started getting their goals in. It being the first game of the tournament as well, you expect the rustiness to be there.
Yeah, understandable. Players come together for the first time in a while. But yeah, you'd hope they're starting to smooth things up a little bit. This is all looking a bit smoother here. And penalty corner coming. I think it's number 5 for Harbour. A lovely bit of passing through the middle of the field. Shayna, Rishi, and out that right-hand side.
Yeah, which goes to say, like my point that I said earlier in the commentary, when you move the ball amongst your teammates and move the ball around, the team looks really awesome.
Yeah, and what a time to get a corner too, because we just heard the hooter for the end of the first quarter. So some of the Harbour ladies will trot on up to the edge of the circle. And they go short this time.
Great save.
Yeah, again, it's defended well, at least well enough, and away it goes. So interesting little change of tack there. Rishi moved over to sort of that left drop spot, L1, and got it direct. Just trying to change the angle a little bit, but great save and clearance from Wellington. And we're still locked up 0-0 here in our women's matchup between Wellington and North Harbour. There's Rishi, the captain.
Interesting that shift left. Like, you can understand why they did it, but it's also like it's going to go to her as well.
That's the thing. Defensively, you'd have to look up and go, well, if she's moved over there, it's probably going there. And adjusted well enough. So we hear from the Wellington.
Eventually they'll get Nav to come in and go for that nice flat straight shot that she's got.
I was going to say, it's probably about due, isn't it? One from Avina Hera. We'll have a look at some of these penalty corners. That's Curry's one that, well, yikes, that one almost went back to North Harbour. Things not even close. Shayna had a good go at it. That one rebounded away. Wellington had their one penalty corner run down. And then some of the big names started to work. This one, you called it. At least this one was on target. First save, second save.
The goalkeeper is doing an amazing job.
Yeah. Pass Sodom there in Golf Wellington. Here's another penalty corner. So this is the one we talked about there. Rishi just opting to carry the ball a couple of paces. I mean, the theory is you try and get it on the reverse stick of the first runner, but when the first runner is actually able to shift with you,
Yeah.
you still kept it on the forehand, and then that one, again, pretty regulation saved there in goal.
It's almost like you need to target outside of onto the post, and then the post needs to touch that.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the theory about going to that short one, right, is you try and get deflectors in, so that one really should be going sort of between the spot and far post rather than straight at the goalie's left boot. So a little bit of execution stuff there on the short corner required for North Harbour. And Wellington, they've weathered the storm so far, and a storm it is. Having a look at the stats there, pretty heavily in favour of the defending champs. Wellington with their kind of one go at it. One entry, one PC and one shot. So,
and that outlet that they did driving it down, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Which goes to show, as soon as they do get it out there and actually make those good connections in that connection zone, they've got it.
Yeah, absolutely. And as much as you can come out here and say Harbour are favourites, so at the end of the day, this Wellington team can still string good hockey together, and all it takes is one. If they can continue defending the way that they are defending, it would certainly be an upset if they can pull one off. But I've seen stranger things at these tournaments. As we hear, it sounds like the Wellington boys are over on the far stands there, cheering on the spot tackle there on Shannon Arsai as Rishi comes forward. Lovely link up there. Leela James. Still there for James, showing her stick skill. And that one out over the back line, long corner coming for North Harbour. Here is Navina Hera with some pretty flash looking shoes on this weekend. Yeah. Not flash the overhead though. I might have put the commentator's curse on it. The bright yellows.
Mate, my stick went higher than that yesterday. Yeah. That calmness too, like how she was able to stand there and no one put pressure on her. Yep. Like that just goes to show the type of player she is. Yeah,
absolutely. You often see those players, people just go running at them because you think, oh, they're a bit slower, perhaps they're a bit older, and we can have a crack at them and a little forehand drag and see you later. As Wellington here get a couple going forward. Well defended there by Rishi. Just tried to walk up and steal it from her. Surbajit Singh trying to link up through the middle, but it's going to fall there for Harbour, and they get out quickly. Love that pass forward. And free hit going the way there with Jaina Patel. She'll get herself forward, roll the ball back up towards the 25-yard line, and I'll take the free hit. Now, for those at home, sounds like Chan's just hit the shuffle on his iPhone playlist, Apple Music playlist out there. I actually thought it was the Monster Mash for a brief moment. It could also be the Ghostbusters theme song. And short-lived, perhaps just tuning up the record player for the disco tonight. I'm hoping it's not DJ Dulab on the ones and twos this evening. There's a big penalty corner whistle here for stick challenge just outside the edge of the circle.
Here we go. Nav at the top.
Yep, she's up there. Even those with... Yeah, that's a pretty rough challenge there as Kari was trying to work her way through. Even for those that that need the glasses to see, we can spot Nav up there in the bright yellow shoes. She's found her way to the first bracket. And there it is, well saved. Another penalty corner coming. She had to kind of freestyle a little bit at the top. It was a little untidy here. She had to bring it in herself. And trying to find the deflection was Monica Patel down there. Central District's finest. Monica Patel. Again, fantastic running from Wellington. And Nav now able to have a good look at it. Shayna trying to signal a stroke. Get back down and inject the ball again, Shay. Have a look at this one. Great running.
Yeah. She's done a phenomenal job running those balls down.
And then this one, you can see what Navina was going for there across the goal. Here we go. Third time, is it the charm? And no dice for Harbour. Wellington stand up again. And,
really good performance.
Yeah, I tell you what, the defenders must love the smell of the food tent getting to play down that end. Tell you what, if I was playing, I'd only play at that end of the field. And now running out of space that time.
But also the injections and just everything seem a lot slower as well. It doesn't seem like it's coming at pace.
Yeah, there's a little bit of crisp missing in it, isn't it, at the moment?
Which is not your typical Harbour.
No, they're usually pretty sharp in the execution. As our side has a quick shot, saved again, but penalty corner on the way. And I mentioned Monica Patel there just briefly. She's sitting atop the goal scorers chart at the moment. Her and Rajwinda Kaur both sitting on 4 goals each. Of course, though, Harbour did play 2 games yesterday versus Bay of Plenty's 1, but 4 goals apiece is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I meant to rack up 4 goals in 1 game.
There we go, the little 1-2. And again, it's defended. That one was trying to find Monica Patel on the right post there.
Yeah, I think it's just like you said, that crispness. It's not quite as sharp as they normally are.
Yeah, and Wellington stand up again and wear off another attack from North Harbour. You'd have to say, Cedal probably getting increasingly frustrating out there for North Harbour.
Absolutely. Especially with the amount of opportunities that they've had.
And this is one of those times where, and look, I know it's going to take a fair bit, but if Wellington can score one, it would be heartbreaking for Harbour considering all the opportunity that they have had.
Absolutely.
And unable to get anything for. You can even see there Navina just pushing herself a little bit further up and a little bit more involved.
Yeah, they definitely pushed right up.
Yeah.
Both her and Rishi.
Now Curry looking, searching. Found a bit of a gap. Across it goes. It's going to fall. Live play there for Hira. And it's wide again.
Phenomenal shift in that defense.
How many darts can you throw at the dartboard before one finally goes in? Man, it's battle stations at the moment for Wellington. But how good for the confidence, though. You keep turning these attacks away.
Absolutely. And I think for Harbour, like, just the frustration will start to set in as well.
Yep. Hira there, can't find a way through on her own, so pivots through Chiba, now a bit of space on the right for Harbour. Lovely turn. It's got to be here. There it is. And it's James and Healy linking up. Allegra Healy, the goal scorer there. Finally got one past the goal. It was Leela James working the right baseline, and then Allegra Healy.
Great placement.
Knocking it in on the far post.
I think that will be the key for Harbour, is to drive it in, use the baseline, and actually, I guess, maybe not go for the direct shot, because that's just been shut down every time. Yeah,
it looks like, I'm not too familiar with Janica Pasodum, but looks like pretty comfortable stopping the straight one, so you love that little extra pass as Nasai now gets one and uses the back of the stick. Yeah, she's been up to pretty much everything that's come straight at her, Pasodum in goal, so yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head, just trying to work around her a little bit more. Bit of space in the middle of the field for Rashika Chiba. Threads one through and onto the foot. It goes.
Oh, that would be PC number 12.
Yeah, they count them in the dozens here for Harbour. There you go, 8. I think it's at least 8 as well. All of the 8. And they'll get another go at it. We finally see some execution here at the short corner from North Harbour. They've just scored a field goal and looking to perhaps double the advantage in the second quarter. And they'll go again. This time Navina Hira just opting to trap it herself and go for it. Kari's all smiles. Well, she's glad she's not out there at the moment, having a bit of a rest.
Got demoted from stick trapping.
Yeah. And it's defended again. Wellington stand up. Roshi Pabu, the captain, back in there.
Yeah, just really solid at the back. Like, they can pick off those, like, easy to read ones. Soon, I think if Harbour, move the ball around a little bit more in the circle and get them off guard.
Yeah, I agree. Just either a deflection or a one extra pass wide. It's creating an opportunity to change the angle. But Wellington, it's a 4v3 here.
Interesting that they're not running up to it and shutting that down earlier.
Gonna say, it's not the defensive tactic I'd go with the back pedal. And they're gonna take the long way around into the circle, Wellington, and probably allow Harbour to get enough players back to defend it.
Young Ashani plays for the school team that I coach.
Yeah, right.
Got the call up.
And it's just going to be everybody out over the baseline. Yeah, it was an interesting little passage there, the 4v3 for Wellington, and the Harbour defender just kept backpedaling.
Absolutely.
Almost to the edge of the circle before she really engaged in the tackle.
I think Nav would have been very frustrated with
Yeah.
that. Oh, good intercept by Roshni.
Yeah. Picked out Wellington now with perhaps another opportunity to come forward. The captain, she's up the field. And good work in the turnover again there from Wellington. They get the entry. It's in front of goal there. Navina Hira going to have to clean up. Fortunately, there's probably none you'd prefer more
No.
to have doing it for Harbour. But Wellington just throwing a couple little repeated opportunities. We're going to have some running repairs on the goalkeeper here, just at the top left of your screen. See, I think trying to get the strap back under the shoe.
Definitely think Wellington will need to hunt down those rebounds and everything, not just watch it come through.
Yeah.
Because as soon as Navina picks it up or Rishi picks it up, they will just be cool, calm, and collected and get that out.
Yeah, Wellington have to be pretty desperate in and around that circle. Be first to the 50-50, just jump into stuff and throw everything at it. Because as we can see, as the game's progressed, not a huge number of opportunities for them, so they have to make them count when they do get them. So we're inside, just around 2 minutes left to play. Over on Turf 2, Bay of Plenty are up 1-0 there over Auckland, end of the first quarter. As we count down the final 2 minutes of this second quarter here, Wellington and Harbour. Harbour up 1-0, and Wellington looking for an answer. And it comes here. Is this the opportunity? No, they've run it out of the circle, Wellington. We put the reverse lights on. Yeah, the other way. And, oh, lovely spin there. Here we go.
A little bit of homage to
Yeah.
Top Soma there. Not as quite as razzle-dazzle.
No, no. But Wellington with an entry here on the baseline. Love that pass.
Okay.
And good clean up in the end. Kaisha down there. Here we go, Wellington just enjoying a little bit of possession up this end of the field over these last minute or two. And like I said, would be against the run of play if they could score. But at the moment being cleaned up well enough by some of the seniors for the Harbour team. And now look at the reach on that. Is that Healy there?
Did help that Nav just gave it straight to them as well.
Yeah.
I think she gave some stick to Curry yesterday for doing the exact same thing twice.
Yeah, right. And they say, do as I say, not as I do. As Vina now goes long handle. I think they'll take the long corner from it. Took a little deflection on its way through. Here at looking at her options back and forth. Decides to go forward. And Wellington, oh, unfortunate. Only seconds before that final hooter, concede a penalty corner. So Harbour with the opportunity again. They had one on the first quarter break as well. Again, an opportunity to go into the break on the back of a goal here. What do you want to see, Seedle? What do you want from these Harbour ladies?
At least convert a goal on PC.
Yeah, I agree. They've got everybody up there. And Wellington, they're flying some troops in as well to defend.
Rishi in that top bracket, Nav's holding off there. I reckon they might do a little Zorro or a layoff and hit that post.
Yep.
Oh, short.
A shorty. And it was short looking for that that post you talked about. It was Monica Patel in there on the right post, but couldn't get on the end of it.
No, and normally Monica does. She gets those nice, beautiful touches in.
Yep.
She can just, the timing of her run when she does, it's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. You could see she was the clear target there. They've opted for that short inject a couple of times now between Rishi and Navina, but nothing from the penalty corners. And it'll be interesting to hear if we can stay in this huddle for a little bit. Paresh Bicker might be able to serve up in terms of execution going forward. Looks like they'll get some waters first, and then hopefully we'll be able to hear from that one. Have a look at well, it's not going to be fun watching for Harbour. This is a Wellington highlight reel in defensive execution.
Those rebounds and stuff too, it does look like they're not, getting aggressive enough and just absolutely sending it. It's like they're just taking a little bit of a lean back, and it could be different on the field, but I
think it's another one of those classic. It always looks pretty easy from up here, I think. But Wellington doing the business, even that, you expect that one to be put away, considering they got the 1-2 pretty well. This one.
Oh, and even that.
Yep. So many of these goals we've seen scored before, and then finally, Allegra Healy gets on the back end of Alila James' pass. It makes it look easy in the end. What happens when you pass around the goalkeeper? And a couple of options they did. This is the shorty.
So yeah, perfect placement, and on an awesome day, should be able to connect with.
At pace, because there's no point going in here. They've parked the bus, and there's 50 million people in there, right? So when we're looking for these spaces, I want us promoting in these spaces, and then we can attack at pace on the baseline, hit across the goal, and then we're in.
Both Allegra and Lila, you're doing that at times there, but you're getting chopped. So hopefully we'll pick up the PCs this season.
Yeah, okay.
But on that, just
cool to hear there from the captain, actually not the captain, the senior player and coach there, Navina Hera and Presh as well. Just about some of the things they hope to see in the second half. So what they're looking at is not clogging that top of the circle area in attack. especially with their strikers, just getting a little bit more height, a little bit more width, perhaps using the baseline. He targeted, Presh targeted Leela James and Allegra Healy, the two we saw link up for their goal, just to keep using that baseline. Interestingly, though, I will make note, Presh, they're saying, well, hopefully we get a couple more corners this half. Well, buddy, you've had 10 of them.
Yeah.
And if you want to start executing them, then perhaps a positive. Let's listen in
we need to get
to Wellington.
Out there, and this person needs to sprint into here, and this person needs to get in the stroke spot so that we can get angled goals, balls going on angles into the circle. Okay? We only need 1 or 2 opportunities, but we need to score them. I think, Karina, you had an opportunity, trapped and in the goal. Tiz had an opportunity. Okay? So we just need to put those away. Yeah?
Yeah, cool to hear there too from Wellington, echoing what we had pretty much said. You know, they're going to have 1, maybe 2 goes at it. They've got to execute. And they're talking about having somebody getting into that goal scorer spot nice and early so they can, you know, perhaps throw a ball and throw a deflection opportunity. And like I said, they only need 1, maybe 2 to really upset this Harbour team. So cool insights from both coaches there. Preshpik and Girish Dial for their respective sides, and now the ladies will come out to do the business. Harbour have the advantage here, 1-0, thanks to a field goal to Allegra Healy. Here's a little bit of action from Turf 2 live. Penalty corner to Bay of Plenty. Defended well by Auckland. Bay of Plenty still just up 1-0 in the midway through the second quarter. Cool to get a little bit of a look over there on the second turf.
Auckland doing a good job and, you know, holding Bay Plenty out.
Yeah, we saw them score goals at will yesterday.
Yeah.
Unfortunate to bring that one up again, Seedle, but pretty epic going forward, Bay Plenty. So, yeah, Auckland
Absolutely.
standing up at the moment. And equally, Wellington standing up here. We you know, might have thought those that head down to the TAB this morning might have had a couple of extra goals sitting on this one at this stage. So Wellington doing the business. Harbour with the slender of leads. And we're back here, second half. A special shout out and thank you, of course, to One Foundation, major sponsors of not only the New Zealand Indian Hockey Championship, the tournament, but of course the live stream as well, and have been for a number of years now since we joined forces with NZISA 4 years ago in Christchurch. Been here ever since, and one of the highlights of the year. So massive shout out to One Foundation, the major funding partner, not only for the hockey but for other NZISA activities as well. So huge shout out to the team at One Foundation. Thank you for all your support, and for those enjoying this live stream from the comforts of your home. Thanks to One Foundation, and of course the broadcast by the team at Local Gecko Productions. As Wellington, well, they got an opportunity to go forward here. A little bit of skill, and the PC is coming.
Nice work in taking that early too. I think Harbour just kind of stood there and she just took it early.
Yeah, and really sharp skill there just to take that extra drag across the circle. I don't think she'd quite got 5 if she'd gone straight in. So, yeah, smooth work. And now, after all the penalty corners we've seen at this end on reverse, can Wellington make the most of one here? Pabu, it's on target. It's cleaned off the line, but second phase is there. And it's in the goal.
Okay.
Look at that, Wellington. They get their one opportunity and they convert it. And it's all smiles on the bench as well for the ladies in sky blue. We'll check it again. The first one is well saved on the line there and cleared, but the second, and they're jumping for joy. It looked like the touch Letitia Farah there. And just like that, well, showing Harbour, this is how you execute on penalty corner times.
Absolutely. I think he called it about the food tent too.
Yeah.
Must be.
It's the end. I tell you what, that's the end to play at. Yeah. And just like that, for all the work Harbour did in that first quarter First half. We're locked up at 1 apiece here, Harbour and Wellington. And to tell you what, if you put 20 on Wellington at the start of this game, you're probably in for a hefty little return here. Still a lot of hockey to be played yet, and again, I'm sure Harbour will expect to make a little bit more of their opportunities, but for now, we're locked up here at 1 each. Ladies section, Harbour v Wellington. And here comes Rishi pushing her way forward.
Nav definitely called it by having to use the going down the side and coming into the baseline. Along the baseline. They need to do that because, yeah, anything coming through to the top, it's just not going to get through.
Rishi looking near side, defended though by Wellington. And they'll win a free hit as well. And nice little turn. It's not some of Shayna's greatest work there. Wellington, well, they're all fighting over the free hit now. They've got a goal, and all of a sudden they're got their noses up to Wellington. And here comes Leela James. Solid contest outside the circle, and she gets it going through Narsai. Turns one, beats two, turns again, and delivers one for, I think it's Monica Patel. Perhaps got the touch there. Goalie just couldn't palm it away with the left glove. And that'll be a little bit more pleasing for the Harbour bench. We'll see it again. It was all Shane and Narsai in the build-up.
That's those deflections that we're talking about. Yep. Monica gets them.
And again, just moving down one side of the circle, then across the goal. And that's what they were talking about at halftime. And they've found one there. So Wellington's jubilation short-lived. Yep. They find themselves back behind on the scoreboard now 2-1. Harbour get the answer back through Monica Patel. So she goes to 5 goals now on the weekend. Meanwhile, over on Turf 2, Bay Plenty have scored again here midway through the second quarter. So they're up 2-0. And out here 2-1 in favour of the defending champs. Away comes Narsai. He's going to have a little bit of a tangle up. I think, embellished a little bit as well. And they come right to the back this time, Harbour. Trying to find a way forward. They turn it over though, and they tidy up enough this time, North Harbour. And now they're coming forward up around halfway. Nice little drop-off pass here. Harbour rolling. Free hit coming just inside the dots, taken quickly by Rishi. Links up with Narsai, who kicks it and gets away with it. Still going. And I think does enough to find the penalty corner. Nice show of skill there.
Bit unfortunate on that one, I think, for Wellington with that foot beforehand. But
yeah, you
that's
just
hockey, right?
Yep, you just keep playing. You see it here. Nice little drag and then onto the foot there of the opposing captain.
Oh, Curry, mate.
Well, it's getting further away. It's getting further and further away.
I think that one needs a new postcode.
I tell you what, I will say, though, her stick's still in her hands.
Yep.
Settle, so not a lot to be said from this. What do they say? Don't throw stones. Yeah, no, Curry's butchered that one. Good, even worse than the first one. Curry, she'll have a laugh at it though.
Oh, absolutely.
She'll have a laugh at everything, Curry. Such a good sport, and you can see her just off camera there, practicing her swing a couple more times. Perhaps needs to head around the corner to Pro Drive and get the golf clubs out for a little bit.
Yeah. That PC did come out quite wide too,
Yep.
so I guess the having to quickly adjust your body and then line it up for a shot, that is quite hard.
Yeah, there's the diplomatic response.
But it's Curry, so.
Now threading one through here. Shayna Narsai gets a little big on her. And now he's making up for it. Now Curry up that left side of the field.
When she does get the ball and she's got is able to dribble, it's awesome. She's got that pace and stuff as well.
Yeah. You can quite often you see her dribbling with one hand up the sort of sideline flank there. She's pretty impressive. So one's going to go, I think, into the dugout. That ball. The cameraman almost caught that one. And Harbour turned them back over at halfway. There's Narsai linking up. Allegra Healy. Oh, still going. Yeah. There's a fair bit of traffic on the way through there. This is the areas where we want to see them use the baseline. Being asked to take it just outside the 25-yard line. Chiba, Kumar. And again, it's cut out at the top. It's where they've been strongest, Wellington, defending the middle of the circle. Nice turn. Healy with some space. And Monica, no breaks, Patel there. She went flying across the circle. It was all or nothing for Monica. Unfortunately, came up with nothing. Harbour win it again. A sustained period of pressure here. And a little redirect kick there from the goalie. Put on the foot, and away come Wellington. Taking the 16 with a little bit of GST on top of it there, and they opt to go backwards. So, Cedar, who you guys are? I mentioned you guys have the break this morning. The Pookie ladies have the bye in this round. Who have you got this afternoon, and what's the plan?
I believe it is Auckland. So, kind of helps that they're playing Bay of Plenty this morning, so we'll have the fresher legs.
Speaking of legs, an opportunity here for Wellington. If they can get it going. Falling away. I like the little breakout there. Well, cool, so you got Auckland. Like I say, they're on a battle at the moment.
Yeah, only 2-0 down. That's not bad.
Yep.
Still got a whole half to go.
And what's the plan against the crosstown rivals?
Well, I think first thing is to not yeet my stick.
Hang on to it, you reckon?
Yeah, I might. You know what the handball players have, that extra sticky glue? I
Yeah.
might have to chuck that on. So that'll be
Sticky spray?
Yeah, first point of call. No, just moving the ball and stuff around, utilising our players that we have, and then once we kind of get up into that striker line, letting the strikers be able to do the thing, do their thing, and then just letting it rip in the circle, but just making sure that we're actually moving the ball around amongst our teammates instead of just trying to hit and hope.
Yeah, you guys are missing a few regulars that that you see normally, the likes of Anjali, Sharmina,
Sugar,
yep,
Sukhdeep.
Yep, as well, and even Manisha in previous years. But what opportunities does that provide, though? And you've got a few young players coming through.
No, so it helps. So, and those young ones are able to come up and actually, step up and do their thing, and it just exposes them to, this level of hockey and making them have to step up as well. It's a big ask for them, but they don't learn unless they do, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, we've talked about even this North Harbour team blooding in some younger players. It's got to be good for the club, giving them these opportunities young, and just creating more opportunities and more pathways for Indian players to represent here.
absolutely. And it does happen in cycles, right? You know, all of those young ones start coming up and they get older and stronger, and then eventually you have to get the new ones coming through. So it just kind of, yeah, keeps cycling through.
Oh, cool stuff. Who are some of the players, you know, through the first day that you have impressed you? I know they're all your teammates, so you think they've all been impressive, but are there any standout performances from the first day in you guys' team?
Yeah, no, the likes of Aisha, she's done really well. She's, you know, running those lines and actually getting a bit more stronger on the ball. We've got Kaya that's come through first year, so it's a big learning experience for her. And even some of our older players in our social team that have kind of stepped up, you know, coming out of retirement, as they say, help boost our numbers. So, you know, good to have them. You know, without them, we wouldn't be able to put a team through, and just having that hockey knowledge and experience there as well, that helps.
And from a NZI perspective, you've obviously been involved, you know, right the way through the heritage campaigns and seen it all firsthand. But good growth in the ladies' space for New Zealand Indians.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you know, bringing in Leela James this year, and even Yashani Barner and names slipped right out of my mind. But, you know, those young ones coming through, you can definitely tell they're not as experienced and compared to, you know, the likes of Nav and Rishi and Curry and Shayna and even Jaina Suka. That it exposes them to it, right? And that just makes them have to work that little bit harder, and, you know, to play in the same team as with the likes of those players is awesome. Like, playing alongside Nav in the past is, it's just wicked.
Yeah, no, very, very cool, and we look for it to continue growing. See the ladies' game out here at the moment. Harbour are up 2-1 on Wellington. Wellington win themselves a free hit in the middle of the field.
Yeah, that was coming, Shayna.
Yeah. You can see that's shoulders just started coming out a little bit then, and broke down play there, so she'll take a seat there, Shayna Narsai, and Harbour will do it one short for the next couple of minutes. And it'll in fact be the first couple of minutes of the fourth quarter. So Shayna, an extended break. The teams will go off for their final instruction, final bit of magic or wisdom from the coaching staff and from senior players, both Wellington and North Harbour. Wellington will be pretty pleased with where they're sitting at the moment. They know, again, it's just going to take one little opportunity for them to lock this one up again. And Harbour, they'll still be, I think, probably a little unimpressed in some of their execution, especially going forward. And you can see their pressure already drawing up on the whiteboard, just checking out some of these highlights.
Yeah, I definitely think Harbour needs to be up a little bit more. They've had plenty of opportunities. It's just the execution in the circle, you know, like Nav said in that half-time, they've parked the bus up in that middle, so they need to go around and get those touches in. Yeah,
absolutely. There we just saw the first goal there from Wellington, and then this from the other angle. Oh, look at 17 or 11 in the middle there. There's the touch. Beats the goalkeeper over the line, and Wellington, they were pumped up, but it wasn't for long as Monica Patel found her way onto the score sheet again. This turn from Shannon Arsite. Beats past Soderman goal. And then from there, a little bit of frustration both ways. This one from Narsite setting up a penalty corner. Which, well, yeah.
Yeah, you can definitely tell that she didn't have enough time to adjust her body there.
Yeah,
still give her credit for missing the goal completely.
Absolutely, and there's the overwhelming dominance on the stat sheet. 13 shots on goal, 11 penalty corners and 14 circle entries. But the one that matters at the top, Wellington more efficient. And North Harbour ahead 2-1 here, heading into the fourth quarter. And there, a little bit of action over on turf 2. Looks like another penalty corner for Bay Plenty. They are still up 2-0 there early in the third quarter. Updates for you all at home. And to be fair, if you're cheering on Bay Plenty or if you're cheering on Auckland, just get over here. Get down here to the turfs. Come for a day trip, whether it's today or finals day tomorrow. Get over here and watch some NZIHC in the flesh.
Absolutely.
Now, the good thing about having the tournament here for most of the IHCs, it's pretty close.
Yep.
You know, between Harbour, Auckland, Pookie, Waikato, and Bop, you can probably all get here pretty easily. So come on down, come and support your team or your club.
Oh, looks like
And,
two.
oh, besties. Besties on the bench. Get back on those two. Hey, jeez, they're out there doing up to no good, those two.
Too much pickle curry.
I tell you what. Curry and Shayna both off the dance floor for now. On it later as Harbour try and break forward. But Wellington, can they find a way through? It's only going to be a little bit of time here while they're up 2 players, but can they use it? Wellington.
I think the one thing having those really bright shoes is that you notice when the ball hits your feet.
Yeah, you can't hide that one very well. And on the resi. Kicks for touch. No, they'll come back for it. I think just trying to burn some clock there, Navina.
Absolutely, yeah. Wellington need to capitalise on this and actually, you know, take the early balls, get those turnovers and just absolutely run it.
Yeah, I'd say Shane is probably only about 10 seconds short of being back here. Only a green card, so not a huge amount of time, but Navina again. Well, while they're off, may as well injure them as well. Yeah, they jumped pretty quickly there. Shayna and Curry on the seats. Still working here, Wellington. Can they find a way through? Shayna's coming back onto the field, but Wellington with the entry.
Just need to be wary that you can't crash ball through to Nav.
Yeah.
Like through Nav at all. She will pick that up.
And again, just happy to get the ball at least out of that area while their shorter player, Curry, still probably another 30-odd seconds till she can rejoin the fray. But Harbour come through regardless, down a player. Showing a bit of speed around that outside. This is where they wanted to be. They're going to run a little obstruction there. Meanwhile, on turf 2, Bay of Plenty have gone ahead with another one. They're up 3-0 here over Auckland. Harbour rolling their way forward. Just under 12 minutes left here for Wellington to perhaps find a way to steal points from Harbour. And I'm corrected, out on turf 2. It was actually their 4th goal. They already had 3, so 4-0 now in favour of Bay of Plenty midway through the 3rd quarter. Perhaps finally starting to get their mojo back.
And then I guess, yeah, for Bay Plenty, this is only their 2nd game as well, right? Auckland, this is their 3rd. So fatigue will definitely be a key factor for this.
Yeah, so it must mean Auckland get the day off tomorrow. Is that the,
yeah. Tough one. I think that's...
It's probably the toughest way to do it, right? 2-2 on the first couple of days. Monica. I think we're going to get a penalty corner here for the stick challenge on the shot of Monica Patel.
Yeah, that was us when it was in Wellington. Rough on the bodies, I tell you.
Yeah, we see this little break forward here. Lovely pass across and entirely short there. Penalty corner. But I tell you what, if I'm Wellington, I'm sitting there going, we're all good here anyway.
Yeah.
I'll roll the dice. And probably the commentator's curse says this is the one that'll go in for Harbour. And there we go. Just as we drew it up, they finally get one done there. Navina just gets long handle on it. Interestingly, when we see the replay, took a couple of deflections on its way through. I think off a defender potentially. I'm sure Monica will be claiming it. She'll say it was hers and try and claim 5.
That's more of those crisp PCs that they were talking about as well.
Yeah, even I noticed as it was coming out there, Curry, who was trapping, didn't even have to move.
No.
It was dead on the spot, trapped it. Navina got it going, and, well, the ball did the rest. So they get a bit of breathing room here at North Harbour. 3-1 over Wellington. You'd have to imagine it's going to take something pretty special from Wellington now to score 2 in the last 10 minutes, given the weight of possession and opportunity the way of North Harbour. And here another one. He's taking a deflection. And a couple little challenges. That free hit's going to go the way of Wellington. Well defended there, Darshna Govind. And now I think the heart rate for North Harbour might just relax a little bit after being so tight for so long. They finally got themselves the 2-goal buffer. Now, Navina Hera just looking at her options. Takes the composed one and going backwards, and now Curry rolls forward. Looks like Curry out there sporting her new alpha stick as well that she won in the dance battle a month ago at Heritage Tournament.
Yeah, no, awesome job at that too. I think of all people to pick for that dance battle, it had to be Curry.
Yeah.
Perfect. She was the one that actually choreographed the team dance.
Yes.
Even though the boys didn't want to, but I think they secretly enjoyed it.
Yeah, absolutely. Nita has been doing it since. You follow him on TikTok and he's probably still doing the dance there with his mask on this weekend. As we see, get a little bit wrong there, Chiba. Yeah, but for those unfamiliar, at Heritage Tournament last, month and a half ago now, a few representatives from the respective teams there called up for a one-on-one dance battle. And Krishna Kumar, the perfect victim, I guess you'd say, for the NZI ladies, and went up there and smashed it. No surprises, like you say, choreographs the performances and usually is bossing them around when it comes to those practices. So
the teacher voice came out.
Yep, put her money where her mouth was, and won herself an alpha stick, which she's sporting now. It's Hera looking long handle again. Nobody there though. It's a bit big. Trying to link up for with Alicia Kashal there. And just out in front of us at the moment, Cedar, we start to see the men's A sides arriving in for the upcoming games. You get a couple of good games up shortly here in the men's A section. North Harbour and Pookie. We'll get to see them on the live stream turf. Pookie 2 wins from their first 2 games. Meanwhile, over on the back turf, that's going to be probably the biggest game of the day. Wellington taking on Bay of Plenty. Crunching the maths in that one. Looks like it's pretty much a straight up semi-final with there are some other little ramifications pending the Auckland Christchurch game, but likely the winner of that one will go through to tomorrow's final and likely against Pookie. So huge game over on Turf 2 a little bit later, and then following that we've got another men's A round. We'll see a TNG Shield match between CD and Waikato out on the live stream turf. Meanwhile, that Auckland Christchurch game I mentioned will play out on Turf 2. So the men's team's all arriving here for that next round. Be good to see those teams back out again. Out here, Wellington try and get things going quickly. Just over 5 minutes left. Can they find a way through? Not that time. It's defended by Harbour, but they'll get a reload here at Wellington, and in it comes. It's going to fall for them. Great save, stick save there from the goalie. And she gets a couple of pats on the back as well. I love the enterprise still from Wellington. They're still throwing things forward. And again here at Wellington, just finding a couple of opportunities in this last minute. Harbour. It's not the world's fastest fast break, but now here comes Shannon Arsai. She'll get a little bit more heat on things. And now the long frame of Allegra Healy. Oh, cut out well, though, in defence by Wellington. There's a nice little arm wrestle between the two of them.
Yeah, Jessica did a really awesome job there, coming nice and flat and just solid.
Well, that's the one. It's probably the only way you can beat somebody with such a reach like that is just to get nice and low.
Yeah.
And under their dribbling space. As speaking of dribbling space, Shannon Arsai doesn't need much of it. Rishi tried to go long handle. Didn't have the time for that. And they'll pick it up at halfway right in front of the dugouts there. We see a good shot of the players coming on and off the field. Harbour, all of them keen as to get on for the last 3 minutes. And opting to go back to go forward. Yeah, Harbour pull some of those Wellington defenders out now, opening through Narsai.
It's got plenty of space to carry. Nice cross ball.
Yeah, 2 minutes on the sideline there for Subjit Singh. I mean, she did come off her feet and make contact, so that's quite often a card. Got to know a little bit better than that, as we'll... Looks like Wellington are resigned to another penalty corner. 2.5 left to go. Subjit, well, she's sitting on the sideline there. I will say, penalty corners are an interesting one. If you can defend it, it does soak up a lot of the time.
Yep.
I mean, I know Wellington are chasing the game anyway, but you know, if you're a team that knows you can defend them well, and perhaps you're up 1-0 or 2-1 or something like that, I wonder if you back yourself to burn almost a minute off the clock.
Yeah.
As the defensive team. Yeah, take your time getting your lids on, and here and now, that one's saved. But second phase, can Hera get a shot, and she'll get another penalty corner for it.
You could see too that bottom right, or bottom left if you're facing the goal for Navina.
Just took a little practice swing at it there on the side as well.
Nice work by the keeper.
And they'll get another one.
Yeah, called
Again,
it.
we talk about burning
time.
clock. I mean, like I said, Wellington don't really want to burn the clock, but if you're a team in this position, you certainly could do it a couple of times here as the clock starts rolling down. Obviously, no stoppages in this tournament. And Harbour, can they find their way to a fourth? There it is.
There we
She
go.
goes the opposite side that time, looking at it right, bottom right corner.
She used one of those in our games yesterday, and I was fortunate to be the left postie.
Yep.
I had that. Like, I knew it was coming too, and I flat sticked. So I was like, oh, I can retire after this. Stopped on Navina here ago.
We saw it there. It probably wasn't even really the right corner.
No.
It's just between the goalie and the lineman. So excellent execution, finally, by Navina. I know we've got on you guys a little bit, Harbour, about that, but you've probably had about 14 corners now, once it's all said and done, to score 2 of them. But a better second half from Harbour, and Wellington, despite all of the incredible defensive work they got through, just unable to hang with the defending champs with the weight of possession and opportunity they had.
Beautiful cross ball.
And the teams there will probably hear the hooter before they get back underway. This has been our women's section game for the morning. Harbour get it done 4-1 over Wellington. So much possession, so much opportunity, so many chances, and they finally make them count in the second half. North Harbour get it done and remain unbeaten in their quest to go back-to-back at this year's New Zealand Indian Hockey Championship. For all of you that enjoyed the game from home, thank you for watching. We'll see you at the next game. As mentioned, men's action coming up from 10 past 12. We'll see Pookie A take on North Harbour A in the men's A section. So make sure you jump back on. We'll see you then on the YouTube and the live stream. Thanks for joining us.
Like